welcome to my channel. My name is Tazzy and I make videos about tarot, self-love and self-development. And today I want to make a video about how you can connect with a new tarot deck or a new oracle deck that you might have received for Christmas, or a deck that you don't usually work with but want to see how the images connect to you, specifically how the images work with your brain. So this exercise is best done with a deck that you're not familiar with the images, rather than using like a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck that the images to every single card. And the only reason why I say this is because unless you're new to tarot, you're going to already have preconceived ideas about the tarot about the tarot cards if you've been studying them for quite a while. So if you pulled the High Priestess card, for example, you would have already learned loads of keywords about her, and it might be hard to find the intuitive messages that instantly come up in your brain straight away. So the deck that I done this exercise and I'm doing this exercise with is the True Heart Tarot. So I'll use the True Heart Tarot as examples in this exercise. So all you're going to need is your deck and something to write on. Give your deck a shuffle and pull a card at random. Look at the card for a few seconds and write down your instant thoughts about the card. Don't think about it too hard, just write down your instant thoughts about it. Pause for a few seconds and reflect to see on what you've written. So for example, I pulled a really positive card. I pulled the Four of Wands, but when I looked at the image, it was so happy. I had like negative thoughts about it, and I wrote that down and I realized that there was something shadowy going on there. So I wrote that down and then I pulled another card and came back to it. So let's do an example. The Three of Swords. So when I first pulled that card, I honed in on the wires and the entanglement of the heart around the sword and the straightforward looking eye. So I immediately thought crossed wires and the feeling that you get when you're in shock or disbelief about something and your eyes glaze over and you just kind of stare off into the distance because you're disconnecting from yourself. And I had never really thought about that before with the Three of Swords. So now I've got a new keyword, a new personalized keyword for myself that I did not have before because I done this technique and I thought it was really interesting. So I wrote that down as well. Let's talk about another card, the Fool. When I look at this version of the Fool, I can see that her dress is entirely transparent. So when I pulled the Fool card, I honed in on her entirely transparent dress and I thought to myself, sneaking out the back door to go and do something that you want to do. And for some reason, I interpret this Fool as being a lot wiser than what you would traditionally think the Fool to be. I see this Fool as somebody who's gone the whole cycle of the 22 major arcanas and started again many times. And I see this Fool as somebody who's being held back by others doing what she wants to do. So she just put on her Harry Potter cloak of invisibility, snuck out the back door, and has now gone to the cliff to go and jump off into whatever thing that she wants to do. So the benefits of doing this exercise is just getting to know your new deck better, seeing how your new deck relates to you and your mindset. This is good for finding alternative meanings for the cards, so not the generic basic meanings that you will find in a little white book. These keywords are going to be personalized to you, and it's going to help broaden your scope on the tarot, and it's going to help you see cards in ways that you'd never seen them before. So when you've done this exercise with a few of these cards, you can look at your keywords and how you perceive this deck to be. And this might be good to help you find out what kind of readings this deck is good with. So, for example, I have found this deck to be quite good with business readings, and I did do a tarot card reading with a client a few days ago, and she wanted a business reading, and I found this deck to be really good. It bonds and gels well with that kind of reading. So I know sometimes if you're a beginner reader, or you primarily only use 1 or 2 decks to read with, when you're reading with a new deck and you're pulling cards for yourself or you're pulling cards for a client, you might second guess what your intuition is saying or what you're picking up from the images, because you're not used to using this deck. So you might get an intuitive hit and dismiss it because you're like, oh, I don't know if that's right. I don't know if I've said the right thing there. But when you do this exercise, you're pulling intuitive hits with nothing to lose. You've got nothing to lose if you see something, get an intuitive hit, pick something up that you might not normally pick for that deck or that card in specific, and you can write that down, and it's going to give you much more confidence when reading with that deck in the future, because you would have already thought about the images, you would have already processed the images in your brain, and you will have more confidence when you come to reading with that deck. Doing this exercise can give you a really interesting look as to how your mindset is at the time. And this exercise, if it helps you in that aspect, is less to do with the cards and more to do with what's going on internally with you. So, for example, if you're pulling traditionally really happy cards and you're getting instant negative meanings as soon as you look at the card, there might be something going on in your mind, and that might be something to explore. So this could be a really good tool with shadow work. If you're wanting to do some shadow work and you don't really know what to pick up on, or if you're looking for new things in your psyche that you're unaware of, if you're pulling cards and something interesting or possibly alarming comes up, you know that you've hit something, you know that you've got something to go and explore. So on top of that, you will find areas and topics that you might want to go and journal on further with to help you with your self-development. Okay, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you've done something similar to this before, let me know in the comment section. I would love to know. I think it's really good if we all share our experiences with our cards so that we can all learn and grow from each other. And I love finding new activities to do with my cards. So never stop playing with your cards, no matter how long you have been doing tarot or oracle. Never stop playing, because you're always going to be learning something new. Okay, thanks. Bye.